Well, welcome to this week's episode. Because as of right now, I don't know if there was an episode that came out last week. So, if nothing came out, we're sorry. We did have some technical difficulties. We may have lost some files. We may have
lost some other things than just files. Honestly.
Hit a grandma. I don't know. Yeah, we're figuring it out. So hopefully, there is an episode out. If not, welcome back. I hope you missed us. We missed y'all last week. And like Tyler said, this episode is definitely going to be called Trials and Tribulations
because we're going through it.
Man. Yeah, but they always say that everything worth it is a struggle.
True. I mean.
So hopefully this is worth it.
So hopefully this isn't one big waste of time. No, I don't.
No,
I don't
for
think
real.
So. Yeah,
money, time, effort.
But I don't think so. I mean, regardless of whatever happens, at least we can say we had some fun. It's fun. It's a lot of
fun.
Of course, you go through things like. Your mic not working, your headphones not working, your battery's dying, this and that, or setting up,
for anything.
There is a lot of complications that come with it when you're running a podcast out of your bedroom. But
and the catching up work team, doesn't exist yet. So you're looking at the whole staff.
We currently occupy all positions in the business. So if you're looking to work for free, let us know. We'll hook you up with a little something.
Email is on,
and we'll write you a
Instagram
good recommendation letter wherever your next journeys are after us.
100%.
We're really good. We use ChatGPT for all that stuff, so it'll look great.
It's gonna sound real
like it came straight out of Apple or something.
No, straight up.
Yeah, well, like you said, welcome to the podcast. We're happy to have you here. Cue that intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to start. Introducing Catchin Up Podcast.
I love how we always wait.
Yeah, there's nothing to. That's
as if we have to wait
about
for
editing.
the
You don't
intro
have to wait, but I don't know. I feel like there's a moment of silence needed for the intro. So.
Yeah, for real. I usually say this at the end, but I'm just gonna get it out of the way now, just so you don't forget. So pause this video right after or audio, and then go follow our social medias.
Yeah.
Go follow us on TikTok. Go follow us on Instagram. We're still doing the thing. On Instagram, the first 100 people that follow us, we will be following you back just to show that you are one of the true OGs that have been here since
day one.
When we're up at the top with Joe Rogan and Impulsive and all of them, we're going to look back at these days when we were in the room actually losing money posting content. And we're going to look back at you 100 people, and we're going to do something special. So you want to be one of those 100 people. There's still
there's still a lot of slots. Just so
if you can
clear.
do some quick math right now
on all platforms. You could.
Yeah,
we'll take YouTube.
All platforms.
Well,
besides YouTube.
Well, I think.
Maybe YouTube.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll follow you.
Yeah, I just wish YouTube.
I mean, yeah,
would
anyone
allow
can
us to
subscribe,
upload
right?
Longer shorts, man. They need to. I get it. They're the only other platform that also does full video, so I kind of it makes sense. But in a way, it's come on, at least make it 3 minutes,
I think that everyone listening on audio platforms, just every once in a while, go a YouTube. You know what I mean? You only got to listen to the first 5 minutes for it to count as a view. And if you listen and you're watching on YouTube, just go give us a little 5-star review on Spotify, whatever audio platform you're listening to us on. Let's help each other out. Because we're going to remember you.
Yeah, we're not sure what we're going to do for you, but we'll definitely remember you.
100%. But I know Tyler had an eventful week last week. So Tyler, what'd you do
I
last
think
week?
a nice way to kick off this Trials and Tribulations episode can be starting with a little PSA, and that PSA would be to, one, always lock your car doors. Granted, mine were. But also, if you ever are like stepping out of your car for a bit and you have something like a backpack or clothes or anything that you might not want taken away from you, probably keep them in the trunk. And probably that's not even that safe, but it's probably the best option because then it's not at least visible. But yeah, especially if you live in LA or I want to say probably New York. Yeah, major cities.
Any major cities?
I mean, I know it's different everywhere, but anyway, so on Saturday night, we're currently recording this on the Wednesday after, I went to my girlfriend's improv show down in Santa Monica. And for those of you that don't know, Santa Monica is a very interesting area. It's nice. There's a lot of stuff to do, but it has kind of gotten a bit overtaken with like homelessness and stuff like that. It's not everywhere down there, but it's in a lot of places for sure. So, it's still a nice place to go. You can still have fun, but you just got to be a little bit cautious, I would say. Anyway, so she has improv shows there every other Saturday night, and I was planning on staying at her place after this Saturday night show because it was Easter and I was off of work. So I brought my stuff with me, obviously. And we usually park in this garage because it's cheap and it's only about like a 2-minute walk from where the show is at. So, park there, go to the show, and then we're coming back from the show. We get to the cars, and there is a little piece of plastic missing from my handle, on the backside, where you would enter the key. And I was confused because I was like, it wasn't like this when I left it. And so I just assumed that somebody had hit my car. I was like, oh, somebody just, sideswiped me and left and it fell off. So I'm looking around for the piece and I don't see it anywhere. It's not anywhere on the ground under my car. And I found that kind of weird because I was just like, that doesn't make any sense. If somebody hit my car, why would they go and pick up the piece before they leave, But I didn't really make anything of it. I was like, all right, I mean, it's LA. Your car's bound to get hit. And people are going to not say anything 99% of the time. It's just kind of how it is. So, yeah, I just get in my car and I go to leave. And I'm just thinking about it as I'm leaving the garage. I'm like, why would the piece not be anywhere? And I look over. I had my backpack basically tucked under, on the passenger side where you can pull out the
glove compartment.
The glove compartment, whatever. I'm over here just sitting. Yeah. So I had my backpack tucked under there, and as I'm thinking about the plastic piece, I look over and my backpack's gone. And
dun dun dun.
Yeah, cue sound effects. One, very fortunate that they didn't break my window or do anything crazy because that happens a lot out here too. So, out of all the ways for them to get in my car, this was probably the best way if you want to look at it in a positive light. But my backpack did have some clothes in it, which sucks, because a lot of the time clothes you can't get back if, they weren't bought at a specific store. But my iPad was also in there, and that's what if you don't know, we use 3 devices to record this podcast. So right now I'm using my roommate's. Shout out to Bird. I appreciate you letting me borrow your laptop for this. But, yeah, so it's gone, not really much I can do. It was a little bit shocking at first just because I looked over and, something's gone. It's one of those cases where it doesn't feel real until it happens to you. And then you're like, dang, that really can happen. But it's just crazy. It was so wild to me because they didn't even, go through my car. I had sunglasses in there. I had my Stanley Cup in there. Not that that's a super valuable item, but if you're gonna rob a car, my iPhone charging cord was in there, and nothing else was touched. Everything is in its exact place except my backpack, And my windows are pretty tinted, so they had to be actively looking in cars to see what was there, And I'm just like, bro, you could have left the piece, so I could have just super glued it back on. Like, now I gotta buy a whole new freaking handle, you know. Like, I'm not gonna dust
Yeah,
you for
for
fingerprints.
real.
Like, the cops don't care about a stolen eye. Like, they're not gonna care, bro. Like, you would have been all right. But anyways, so I've since put my iPad in lost mode, but it's been turned off ever since it was stolen. So,
Yeah, they probably reset it.
well, the thing is that whenever it does get turned on, it will be in lost mode. So it's pretty much useless to them unless A, they can try to sell it without turning it on. B, they could sell it for parts, which I don't think they'd get like that much, to be honest with you. Or they know some super duper hackers who can, infiltrate it and bypass it.
Well, the thing is, I know you can. I thought the lost save, whatever it's called, only went into effect once it connected to Wi-Fi or something.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
So technically, they could turn it on and not have it connect because, like, I don't know how often you go to
But
places.
even
that
if you
they are
turn on
at,
the iPad,
you know what I
my
mean?
location is still on. So unless they like automatically turn it off, because it says it's been offline since then. You know what I mean? Like, but I feel like when you turn it on, it will automatically connect and like update its GPS location. I don't really know.
Because I know you can like there are ways to reset like manufacturing settings to where it's like you turn it on, it's like the hello.
Yeah, but I feel like
Apple.
you have to like go in and do that.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I
hopefully
mean,
they can't
regardless,
do
it's
that.
like it is what it is. Like I don't expect to get it back or find it. I mean, it's just chalk it up to the game, right? It is what it is.
But if you stole it, this is Tyler's address,
Yeah,
so you can
like
just send it back.
we ain't
No
gotta
penalties.
have beef. We just move on with our days. But yeah, so that was a tribulation, you could say, a trial tribulation from this week, and but it is what it is, man. I mean, it's out of my control. There's nothing I can do. It's it sucks that I have to eventually buy a new one because like that's money that I could have continued to save, which in LA is necessary. But it's life, right?
So 2 things I want to add to that. Or 3. 1, that sucks.
Thank you.
So I'm sorry. No one deserves to get their stuff stolen, especially when it's like you don't know what the clothes meant, and I'm sure the person didn't even know what was in the bag.
Yeah, exactly.
They just assumed
Exactly.
either A, the bag alone is going to be worth it because maybe it was a nice bag.
It
and they
was
could
my
just
new
sell the
bag that I just
worst
bought.
case.
Well, I didn't just buy it. I like
Um,
bought it last year, a couple months ago for like traveling. I mean, it's like only like a $50, $60 bag, but it was a nice bag.
Yeah. So then, and yeah, there are thieves that do that. There was a time in one of the neighborhoods I used to live in that people were breaking into cars, and all they would steal is like coins and cash. Like there were laptops in the cars and stuff like that. They didn't do anything other
Yeah.
than just stealing coins. So I've realized that it's not like your average. I don't think people steal the way we were taught
Yeah.
people steal, if that makes sense. Like I think now it's like you have to be a lot more selective because the more that they mess with,
Yeah.
the more evidence they're also leaving behind. I don't
Yeah.
know if they think about it that deep, but it's weird that like, you had so many other things that they could have stolen as well, but they didn't.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like a grab and go, and then same with mine. Like, what was the point of only stealing coins and cash? Like, that's really weird, especially coins, right? Like, you got to steal a lot of coins.
Yeah, I
for
think
to
it
be
also
worth
just
it.
I think that like plays into like it just depends on who it is. Like if somebody's only stealing coins and cash, I feel like it's probably a homeless person who just needs that and like yeah, or just like either like hey, I need a couple bucks, I see it in this car versus like somebody who's like actively because I was also on like the 3rd floor, bro. So it's like they had to have been like going through the garage like looking in cars. So maybe they're just like, hey, here's one, let's get in, get out, So
Yeah, for sure. Second thing I'm gonna say is that iPad is how all of our short form content comes
Yeah.
to be. So it's a big deal that it was lost too. Like not only to Tyler and his own personal life and used to it, but it does affect the podcast in more ways than one than just recording. So we're gonna have a GoFundMe link at the bottom for Tyler's iPad if you want to help the podcast out. And last but not least, I will say that I was very impressed because although that is like one of the crappiest situations you could be in, Tyler did keep his head up, spirits up, like genuinely, like I've never seen someone get robbed with such a good attitude before.
Thank you.
So kudos to you, bro. I
Appreciate that,
I
man.
look up to that. I'm not one that keeps my cool. Sometimes when things are stressful
Yeah.
or bad situations. So that's some awesome character development
Thank you.
right there. Showed
Yeah,
maturity.
I
So
appreciate that,
just
man.
wanna give
I
you that
think
shout out because
it's definitely developed over time. I think if this was a few years ago, it definitely would have been a different reaction and a different outlook on it. But I feel like when things like this happen and you have to take a step back, like before you like let your emotions take over. And like obviously, I'm not saying it didn't upset me or shock me or make me a little mad on the inside, but it's just like you obviously deal with that, but also like there's no point in me lashing out and just getting angry and depressed and letting this ruin my day. I mean, the next day was Easter, you know what I mean? Like I was spending it with my girl and like some friends and
yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna, if I let something like that ruin like another day where also like you don't, I mean, another day is never guaranteed, man. So it's like if I let this carry over and affect this day and ruin this day for me, like that's my loss, you know what I mean? Like I'm losing a day to that. And like I'm not saying that that's everybody deals with things differently, so however you do, but I'm just like, man, there's so many other things to be grateful for in life and like so many other things that like I could
It's playing like EDM music right now. It's like whoa. We're having some technical difficulties as we speak. It's just how the day goes sometimes.
Hello?
So while Tyler's figuring out his technical difficulties, I think that the two lessons that we can learn from Tyler's life, because they always say that a man learns from his mistakes and a wise man learns from others' mistakes. So we're gonna be wise and we're gonna learn from Tyler's mistakes, and we're not gonna leave our bags in our cars. If we do, it's gonna be in our trunk. So the second lesson that we learned from Tyler is don't go to your girlfriend's shows on Saturdays, because if he didn't go and be there and support her and show that he loves her, he would have never got robbed. So I think that's the second lesson that we can learn. No, I'm just playing.
So now that we got this adjusted, I had to swap headphones mid-podcast because also the headphones are going too. So
Remember what they say: when it rains, it pours.
Yeah. So remember what we said about that GoFundMe. Just I don't know if it'll actually be there, but if you actually want to help out, you could Venmo or Zelle or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we might.
My birthday's coming up too.
That
so,
is true.
That's also a double whammy right there. You can
April
help me out.
14th.
And show the boys some love on the birthday. But anyways, let me get back to that. Anyways, it's just like I get it, man. It's hard, it's tough, it sucks, but it's out of my control. There's nothing I can do except just move forward. So obviously, like process the emotions that come with that. But there's no need for me to like take it out on others or to like just let it affect my days. You just think about a process and move on. It's nothing I can do. I mean, police aren't going to care about that here, and like the garage, I'm sure like they're not going to care about it. So it's like it is what it is, man. I did what I can with the iPad, put it in lost mode, and the clothes, they're gone. They're sometimes I feel like clothes are it's weird. It's like obviously like the iPad was the biggest hit like financially and like work wise, but sometimes it's like, dang, bro, like I love that sweater and I don't know where I got it from. It's like now I'll like never get that
Like
back,
you thrifted it or something, or it was a gift. And
Yeah.
then, yeah.
Or like I was actually like another thing that made me happy is I was gonna pack this hat that I currently have on, which is like my favorite hat. I got it back in Florida when I went back for Christmas, and I was gonna pack it, but then I was like, I don't even know if I'll wear a hat, so I'll just pack like one of my other ones that like I don't like as much, and so I was like, okay. Fortunately, like I didn't pack those. I didn't pack my Travis Scotts, which like I was thinking about doing too, but it was raining, so I was like, nah, let me not bring those out. So like, there were a couple other things. I honestly like, and it was like a little dumb on me because I wasn't gonna edit anyways, but like I don't know, I always just have my iPad on me in case, like, you know, if you need something or like if there is ever downtime, like I will. But you know, I should have known that I wasn't gonna edit, but it is what it is. It's what happened, and like I said, you just move forward with it. So, yeah.
No point in
So that was an
pondering and
experience.
letting it ruin your life.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we move forward, we persist, and you know, it's now lesson learned. Lesson learned. Keep my stuff in the trunk from now on.
And don't go to your girlfriend's shows and show her support. Simple. I'm playing.
She's not gonna like that.
Nah, Bailey knows I love her. Okay, so not usually, we try to do a coffee review. I'm just gonna get this out of the way because mine's starting to get warm. So Tyler and I are both on Broke Boy tour now. So we did get those
Seriously.
pre-made coffees. So, but it's still a coffee review. And so I got your average Joe Schmo Starbucks
Okay.
mocha frappuccino, right? Frappuccino, you know, the ones in a glass
Yeah, the
bottle
glass.
with the aluminum cap. And I got mocha because if you listen to one of the first coffee reviews that we did, I am not a fan of mocha very much. So
Really?
you knew that.
I forgot. I don't know. Because I always get mocha.
Yeah,
I feel
and
like
I
you
never
always got the same thing
No,
as
I always
me.
got caramel. Fake friend, bro.
Talk about presents.
Wow. Anyways, so yeah, wow, I'm so hurt right now.
Listen, is it wrong of me to assume that everybody doesn't just do what I do, bro? Like, come
Yes,
on.
very much. Very, very wrong. The world revolves around me, not you. Keep up. Just kidding. So we're gonna try it. It's I got this one also because it's 10 less calories than the vanilla one.
Okay, there you go.
And a bottle is one serving. So you hear that? I love that.
That was crisp. I'm not gonna lie. That was crisp.
Yeah, I love it. Anyways, so here we go. Mocha pre-made gas station Starbucks. Cheers. This is the definition of so you like coffee with your milk and sugar?
Definitely.
Like
Definitely.
I don't think they even actually put real coffee in here. I think it's just like coffee flavoring. It's like pure
honestly,
milk
bro.
and sugar with coffee flavoring.
Because I think those can be on the shelf for like ever, bro.
Yeah,
I don't
you
even
keep
know
them
if they
room
have like
temperature.
Yeah.
Water. It says it contains brewed Starbucks coffee, aka water and coffee, reduced fat milk, sugar, cocoa, and pectin. I don't know what pectin is, but that doesn't sound healthy.
Maybe I don't know. I could be wrong. It could be a preservation thing.
True. It does have 7 grams of protein, I guess, because of the milk. But
Probably. Yeah.
so we are on bulking season. Don't forget that. But yeah, I'm buying this in April of 2024. And granted, I don't know when this was made, but it doesn't expire until September 23rd, 2024. So it does last a long time on the shelf. I wouldn't buy it again. This is like not worth it. Like I said, this is definitely more milk than it is literally anything else.
Yeah.
I don't even taste the mocha. I thought if you handed me this, I would have thought it's the vanilla one. So I guess on the mocha aspect, if you really hate chocolate and you want to look like you're drinking chocolate, this is the way to go. Other than that, I'm gonna give this like a 3 out of 10.
Dang. Starbucks not doing the trick for you with those. Yeah, those are like what I would drink in high school if I wanted coffee. You know what I mean? Because I didn't like the actual taste of coffee.
Yeah.
So like that.
This is like training
super
wheels
sweet.
for coffee.
Yeah, yeah. Or like, you know, if you're like in the middle of nowhere and that's the only coffee they have, like I guess it's a good pickup. But
Nah, buy Red Bull.
yeah. Yeah, they do have other options nowadays. Okay, yeah. I mean, I've had that before, but it's been a while, so
Bro.
I couldn't. Yeah, but that's all I remember of it. Is like super sweet, like high school, and I don't think I've literally had one since.
Yeah, and you're old, so that was like 30 years ago.
Dang.
I'm just kidding.
Well, and also because those are what? Like, what was that? Like $3-4?
Yeah, I don't know. I spent all my money on TGI Friday cheddar bacon potato skin chips. We're not sponsored, but I would be stoked if we were. These are some of the best chips in the world. They're super salty. They're super flavorful. They're like thicker chips. They got good. Oh man, these are the best. A1. Highly recommend. If you haven't bought them, try them. If you have, you love them, and if you don't got good taste buds. I'm sorry. TGI Fridays, please sponsor us.
I don't know if I've tried those before.
The more this episode goes on, the less I want to keep going.
Hey,
No, I'm just kidding.
remember, it's trials and tribulation. We're figuring out some relationship issues too now.
Oh, wow, our communication issues. Would you rather me save these for when you visit or ship you some?
I mean, I'm sure I can find them somewhere.
All
Are they,
right,
like,
fine.
rare or something?
Kind of.
Listen, let me take a look around. If I can't find them, I'll
You have until
ship 'em
tomorrow.
out.
I bought about like 12
Dang.
bags, but they'll probably all be gone tomorrow.
Okay. I mean, they sound good.
Yeah, bro. It's literally TGI Fridays, potato skins, style snack crisps, cheddar and bacon flavor.
Okay.
150 calories per bag, not too bad. It is 260 milligrams of sodium though, and 1 gram of protein. So he's still on that bulking. So yeah, fire.
Cool. Well, mine is not like it's not like Gabe's where it comes in the bottle or like a little self single serving bottle. Mine is I found it in it's actually where they like keep all the coffee, like not in the refrigeration area. It's like over where they keep the boxes, but they have like these bigger bottles, and it's like Starbucks cold brew concentrate, and this is the caramel version. So basically, like you buy it warm, but then you like refrigerate after opening, and like you could make it, I guess, hot or ice. I always do ice, obviously, but I have it in here, and you basically just mix like equal parts that and equal parts water, and it's pretty. I mean, I tested it just like with that, and it's actually pretty good. It's not bitter or anything. The caramel does come through a little bit. It's not like anything overpowering, but that's like just the coffee flavor. So then I add in hazelnut creamer just by Coffee Mate, and that's it. And it's actually like really good. It tastes pretty similar to like what I would get at Starbucks. And the bottle's like $10, and it comes with like 5 servings, I think.
That's not bad.
So, yeah. So I just got it for like those days when like, you know, sometimes you're like, I might need a little coffee today, so that I don't have to go buy a whole one. I have something here that I can use.
Yeah, like on the go.
Or if I just need a little pick me up, and like also it's not like I know the one you had probably had like a good amount of sugars like this. I kind of dictate that because I don't put any extra sugar. I just put the creamer, and I don't use like a lot. But it's really good. It's a really nice blend of coffee, and then adding whatever choice of flavor by creamer that you like, I think just enhances it even more. So I recommend it. I'll put a picture up so you guys know what it looks like. And yeah, I definitely recommend it. I guess it's kind of hard to rate it because I obviously put the creamer in, which gives it more flavor. But when I just tasted the coffee, yeah, I would probably give it, I don't know, I guess like a 9 out of 10. Like it's good. Like I never drink coffee by itself though. Like I always need creamer. So
True. That makes sense.
I don't know if I'm the best judge of that. But it's a really good one. I mean, in comparison to like some of the other ones you can get in the refrigeration aisle, it's definitely like those I think tend to be a little bit more bitter for whatever reason. Or like also I know Starbucks has ones in the refrigeration aisle that are like already made up with cream and sugar, but they just load it with sugar. So like that's why I didn't opt for one of those, because with this, like I said, I can dictate how much cream I'm putting in and all the other stuff. So yeah, I mean I recommend it. I'll probably continue to use it. It does give me a good amount of energy. So it's a good caffeine rate. And yeah, so I just saw it, decided to try it, and I think it's pretty good. So, and then my roommate had this cool little cup, so I just put it in there.
Nice, bro. So you rate it a 9 out of 10?
Yeah, with my creamer, a 10 out of 10. But just the coffee alone.
No, of course. You're making it to your own taste buds.
But it's cool because then you can also like just do a different. Whenever you run out of that creamer, you could do a different one, different flavor.
Yeah,
instead
it's
of, like, if you always
a lot
get the
more
pre-made
customizable.
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro, and,
yeah,
and that's
exactly.
cheap for it being as good as you say. And even if it's not as good as you say, you can make it as good as you want it to be, depending on what you want to add to it.
Yeah.
And it comes out to $2 a cup if you do one serving size, and that's fire. And
Yeah, that's
I
what
mean,
I'm
look,
saying.
I'm not recommending it. It's not healthy at all. But like, you don't always need to put the recommended amount of water, so it's a little stronger.
Yeah.
And that's the nice part too, because sometimes you just want like a quick little, like sometimes you don't want a full glass, you just want half, but you still want the same amount of caffeine, which I don't ever recommend doing. Drink water after if you're gonna do that, but for those caffeine junkies out there, like my friend Noah.
Well, it's almost like then you'd be drinking like an espresso. But I did try it because a lot of people, like I was reading the reviews before I bought it, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, like definitely make sure you put the right amount of water because like it is really strong." So I was like, "Okay, let me try it." So when I first poured the cup before adding the water, like I took a little sip of it, and like I didn't think it
Grew
was
some chest
that
hairs?
like. Yeah, I mean, kind of. I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was like fine. I don't know if I probably would. Obviously, I would use the water because, like, I prefer to do like a traditional iced coffee with like milk and coffee and water versus like some people do just like espresso and like smaller amount does the job
But
quicker.
regardless, it's concentrate, so it's not the same. It tastes different.
True,
The
true.
consistency is a little different. But anyways, moving on from what's it called? Coffee.
Caffeine products.
I'll go on what happened this weekend. I had a fun weekend. Tyler had a great weekend.
He said,
My weekend wasn't bad. So we had to go down to Boca. My uncle just got engaged, so we were down there celebrating with him. So it was really nice, getting to see my family again. I love Boca. It's chill. Went to Brazilian Steakhouse. Fire. Easter service was fire. What's it called? Then it was also they were celebrating on Delaney and I's anniversary. So my girlfriend and I's anniversary. So we celebrated with them. Then after we got our own place. We got a little hotel room just for like one night, just to like hang out. We went out. We ate. We had some good food. We went to this oyster bar called Voodoo Bayou in Fort Lauderdale, and it was fire. And it was our first, because we're big oyster fans, and we usually eat them raw. We've never really had them cooked, and we tried two different ones that were cooked. We didn't know that they were cooked when we ordered them, so it was an accident. But it was a happy accident, because at first, we ate it like a normal oyster. We kind of just like slurp it up. And it was like just like a lot of flavor at first. One of them was like, I don't know, we didn't really know how we felt about it. And then we realized after that they gave us like little slices of like mini toast, the ones that are like literally like this big, like thin slices. And we took the oyster out of the shell and then put it on that little toast and then ate it, and it was significantly better. But by the time we thought of that, I only had one oyster left and 4 pieces of toast.
Bro was destroying it.
Yeah, so I don't think I gave it a fair shot. So I would say that I preferred the raw. We ordered 24 of them because they were so good. Like, they were thick, they were juicy, they tasted so good. But like I said, I don't think we gave the cooked one a fair shot. So I got to try it again. But Voodoo Bayou, fire. They're opening one up in Orlando, apparently. So I'm excited for that. They had some good drinks. Bro, they had a bourbon milkshake. And it was really good, bro. It was really, really good.
Like with actual alcohol in
Yeah.
it? Or just, okay.
But it was good. It was like
Nice.
It was creamy. Very, very creamy.
It's kind of almost like a mudslide. Have you ever had a mudslide?
Don't call me that. I'm just kidding. No, I've never had a mudslide.
It's like a milkshake that's also an alcoholic drink, but that sounds good too.
Yeah, so we did that, and then we got to one of my aunts. My girlfriend actually never met before. They know each other. They talk and text and stuff like that, but they never met. So we went over her house. We had dinner, spent the night, And then I skedaddled 3 hours back to the studio to record this podcast. I was 45 minutes late. And then Tyler had some technical difficulties, so we're a little 2.5 hours behind schedule, but it's all good.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's just how it rolls
that's
sometimes.
But that's the nice thing now about, because we used to shoot at night, so it'd be like 7 o'clock for me, 10 o'clock for Gabe. Now we shoot like our typical start time is 11 a.m. for me, 2 p.m. for him. So it's like it's better now, because when we would have technical difficulties before, Gabe wouldn't start recording till like midnight, and it would be like 9 or 10 for me. And so, by then you're just like, you already had the whole day, you're tired. Like, at least we're a little bit more fresh now. It doesn't, as long as, I don't. Do you work today?
Yeah, but I don't work until 7 p.m. So it's a 5-hour window. Like we're fine.
Yeah, so like we have a little bit more time. So like it is a lot nicer. Though it always sucks when you have technical difficulties, because it's just annoying and like takes you out of the when you're ready to start and like you're in a vibe, you're like ready to chat, and then you're like dealing with all this stuff, and then you got to sit down and talk. So sometimes it could be a little bit just like unsettling, but
yeah,
I feel like we've done this so much, and we've been through a lot worse in terms of like problems starting before a podcast. So it's a lot easier for us to just like hop in it and like get in the mood that we need to be in, which is really good. And I think that like that can apply to so many different things like in your life. Obviously, like you can be on the way to like, I don't know, a job interview, or like if you're an actor, an audition, or just a big meeting or a event that you're going to, and like, everything isn't going the way that you planned. You can obviously like let that affect and carry into the interview, the audition, the event, whatever it is. But if you can just kind of, accept that like, okay, this is what it is. It's not obviously how I pictured in my mind how this night or day was going to go. But like, if you just roll with the punches and keep going and just be like, all right, that happened. We'll deal with that later. You gotta show up still, and you still gotta do what you gotta do. I think that can really help you a lot in life in general, and I think that's something that like we've learned through doing a podcast and doing our own production. Pretty much is that like there's always gonna be bumps in the road, like no matter what. Like even if we have everything, one day the headphones might not be working, or like the microphone might be sounding weird. Like you never know, or like you run out of storage on your phone, or like we even used to have instances where like our phone would just stop recording for no reason. We're just like, what is going on? But like, if you just like figure out and adjust from there, and you just keep moving forward, man. It's like, that's life. It's never going to be picture perfect, and it's never going to be how it looks on the screen. Like I'm sure people who just come across our podcast never take the time to think about any struggles we've had, or literally right before the episode, or just overall. But like, behind the scenes, things are never as pretty as they seem. And I think it's just like remembering that with everything on social media as well. It's like, though somebody might get that perfect picture, that perfect reel, it could have taken them freaking all day to get that one shot. But like to the average viewer, it's like, oh, that was a one-shot wonder, So it's just something to always keep in the back of the mind, that like everything you see is not as picture perfect as it looks,
And some people master the art of leaving your garbage at the door and coming in and focusing, because like you got to do that for everything. Think about it, like work, school, your boyfriend or girlfriend might break up with you, and you still got to go take an exam. Like the exam's not going to wait for you. There's always that saying of like, the sun doesn't wait for you to rise the next day. It's going to come. Like the punches are going to keep rolling, and you got to make that decision on whether am I going to let this fully affect me and ruin this experience that I'm going to have, or anything like that. And it's not necessarily, I think sometimes people consider that being fake. And I think there's a difference between setting your garbage aside for a minute to be able to pull off what you need to pull off, versus ignoring it completely and acting like it's not there.
Yeah,
and
just bottling it up, pushing it down.
And those are two different skills that you got to learn. But
sure.
No one's perfect. Like we definitely have had our recordings where like you can tell I'm pissed. Like you can tell I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
You can tell, like, and I'm not proud of it, but I still leave those episodes up because it's a lesson for me. Like, and so you can see the growth. Like, to get to where we are, like, people are never gonna realize like how hard it was the first 2 years of doing a podcast,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
and it's a skill. Like sitting here with the microphone, with your setups, your screens, your camera. No, like it's weird. It's so weird, but you got to keep going. You got to keep pushing. And that's with everything in life. Your dreams, your goals, anything. Like life, the one thing you can always plan on is that your plan is not going to go according to plan. Like that's the only thing you can count on.
Sure. And the only thing that you could control is
You.
how you react to things, how you're going to let things affect you, how mentally you're going to react to the situation. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that are going to be out of your control. There are so many things that are going to happen to you when you're going to ask why. Like, why is this happening right now? Why, like, all at once, too? Like, things will just start, like you said earlier, when it rains, it pours, especially, like, with bad things, with good things as well. But a lot of the times, especially when, like, it is bad things, it seems a little bit more, there's a lot more pressure and there's a lot more just weight on you. But you choose how you want to react to those situations. And I think as you start to get a little bit older, you go through more things, you start to realize that, and you start to be like, okay, like, this is happening to me. Like, I now have the power to react to this in a positive way or react to this in a negative way, you know, and let my emotions get the best of me, or I get the best of my emotions. Obviously, yes, deal with them. Talk them through with people, your friends, your family, people that you hold close to you. We're not saying, like, push those things down, but we're just saying that you can't always let those little bumps in the road affect you, because if you do, and like and especially like when it is something that's like work related, like even the podcast, or like I said, even if like I'm going to an audition and like, you know, somebody almost cut me off, or somebody almost hit me or cut me off, or, you know, I had hit traffic that was unexpected. I can't go into the audition room all flustered. You know, obviously if it's like an angry scene, I can use that in my scene, like as an actor, but I can't, you know, I still have to present myself. I still have to be me. I still have to show them my personality, and I can't let those, you know, bad attributes of like my emotions getting the best of me. I can't go in there like, hey, yeah, my name's Tyler. I'm ready to do that. You know, I have to still be me and be entertaining and be energized. And then after the audition, you go and you vent to your friend or your family, or you listen to a song and you let it out. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just lessons like with everything in life that, you know, you can always have this plan in your mind of where things are going to go or how things are going to happen. And like Gabe said, that's the one thing you can count on, is it not going that way. And I think once you understand that and grasp that a little bit more, you start to realize that, like, you know, reacting to things so quickly and just being so irrational about things, like, you know, it's not worth it.
It's not worth the headache. I will say an embarrassing story though. Like, just because we were talking about like putting a face on, not putting a face on, but, you know, leaving your stuff at the door and stuff. I catch myself entering podcast mode like in my regular day-to-day life. I don't know about you, but an embarrassing moment was when me and my two coworkers, well, they're my buddies, me and my two friends were getting some ice cream, and I forget what it was, but it was like a really weird flavor. Or, oh no, it was a coconut ice cream, but it was a coconut like charcoal ice cream. So the ice cream was like black, but it was coconut. And it was really, really good. But I was like, that is so weird, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know what I was doing, but like I wasn't thinking. My brain just started, like, I guess my mouth just started talking. And I go, leave a comment down below if you think it's gross or something like that. Like as if I had a camera on me. And the girl taking my order just started laughing so hard. And I was like, what? And then she's like, nothing. That's just really funny. And then I was like, oh my gosh, did I say that out loud? And then she's like, yeah. She's like, no, I think it's funny. Like, that's my sense of humor, too. And then I'm just sitting there because I'm like, haha, yeah, sense of humor. I definitely don't post videos with me talking like that.
She's like, this is what's wrong with today's society, today's generation.
And I'm
kids.
just like, yep. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
That's
they're
funny.
the worst.
No, I don't ever find myself doing that. Unfortunately, we're not in the same boat there.
Even my girlfriend would be like, sometimes you start talking, and I'm like, that's podcast Gabe. And I'm like, I don't know if I should be offended or honored or what. But
Well, I don't necessarily know what that means. I mean, I feel like we go on our own individual tangents and conversations on here. And, like, I guess sometimes in real life I do that too. But I don't ever, like, I don't know. I don't ever feel like, I don't know. I don't even feel like I'm in podcast mode when we're podcasting anymore. Like with the old podcast I did because we had a set way of doing it. But, nowadays with the podcast, I really just feel like we're having a conversation. Like, it doesn't even feel like I'm entering a certain mode or anything anymore. It's just like,
that's what I'm saying. I agree. I think I speak a little bit clearer when I'm on the podcast.
Sure.
So it might be like that where I try to speak better because, like sometimes I just like mumble or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what she means. That's like my... But I did see it in that one moment at the ice cream shop, and that was embarrassing.
Yeah,
so.
sure. Because it's like, leave a review. Like, where are you going to leave a review?
I was like, make sure to like, comment, and
It's
subscribe if you think it's weird. And I'm like...
No, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't think I've had an experience like that.
Yet.
Oh, I had an idea, actually, that I wanted to throw out on the podcast, just so that the fans can be involved as well. All 25 of them. I just had a thought recently because I was like, Hold on, you pause. Can you still hear me? Okay. So... I love listening to like music. I think it's like such a big part of my life, especially, and I love film as well, so it can apply to that too. But I was like, I think it would be cool if me and you, because I know sometimes like I want to review a certain album or like a certain track, and like a lot of the times like you tend to be a bit busier, so like you don't get to listen to it as much.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, like, a lot of the times when I listen to new albums and stuff, it's like I'm at the gym. So, like, that's a lot of the times where I catch up on that. But I thought it would be cool if, like, me and you could, like, listen. Because, like, it is hard, like, to be like, oh, let's do, like, an album each. Like, I think it would be cool if we would pick an album, like, each week. Or, like, obviously, if we're busy, it doesn't have to be each week. It could be, like, every other week. But, like, me and you are, like, listening to the same album for that week or two. Obviously that's not the only thing, but I'm just saying, to get like listen to through the album full through, and then we like can rate that together, and like you can give your top 3 favorites, I give my top 3 favorites, and we can kind of just like, rate and review this album. But also it'll be interesting, I think, to see, what songs you like better, what you thought was cool about the album, what you thought wasn't good about the album, and like vice versa to my thoughts and opinions. So I thought that could be a cool idea, just a little segment that we could have on the podcast as well. And like I said, it doesn't have to be every week. It could be like every other week or, whatever it is. And like I said, it could apply to films too. It's just I thought of it for music because I just typically find myself having more time to listen to music with car rides in the gym and stuff. But yeah, I just thought it could be a fun idea. So
I love that idea. It's funny because Tommy... like last year came up to me and basically had the same idea, but like that's the whole YouTube channel. I don't know. Do you remember that? But I'd still be down because
I don't. I remember he came to you about a podcast, but I didn't know it was for music.
Yeah, it was basically the same thing, except his wasn't albums. It was like whole artists. So then like we'd listen to like their catalog. I don't know. I don't remember if it was either like their catalog or like their top, I don't know, let's say 50 songs that are rated the best and stuff like that, and then we go through them. But I'd be down to do something like that. And we could incorporate film where, it could be a series or it could be like a director. Like maybe
I think it'd just be easier for us to do it
with
like
music,
if we like, well, not even just music, but I'm saying like for us to like plan it out and be like, okay, hey, this next week it's gonna be this album or this director, because a lot of the times I'll be like, hey, Gabe, like I just went and saw this movie, like, or like I just watched this movie on HBO Max or Hulu or whatever, like let's review it. And either you're like, oh, I haven't seen it, or you're like, oh, I'll try to watch it. So I'm like, at least if we can pre-plan it that a little bit, and at least know like, okay, this is what's gonna happen on this episode, and like we can like obviously give us the amount of time that we need to do that. Like if you're super busy that week or I am, like we just push it to the next week, you know. But instead of it just being like a random spur of the moment thing, because a lot of the times, like I mean, we listen to similar music, but it's not always the same. You know, we're obviously like in different moods and different periods. You want to listen to different music. So yeah, I just thought it'd be cool, and it could be like everything. Because I'm like, even with like, you know, people like Michael Jackson, bro. Like I know a lot of Michael Jackson songs, but I don't think I've actually listened to an album full through. You know what I mean? So I think it would be cool to like actually do that, and then, you know, give our thoughts and opinions on it. And the same for like a lot of other artists. You know what I mean? Like I know a lot of Kanye West music, but I don't know if I've ever sat there and like listened to an album front to back. You know, I'm sure I've listened to majority of his songs, but you know, it's like back to front, give a rating and review on that specific album versus just like their overall catalog. And then eventually once we get there, like over time we'll like reach a certain person and we can kind of rank their albums and stuff, or, you know, like you said, director and their filmography. I think it'd just be a cool little segment for us to have to do, you know, because it's something that we're both obviously interested in. So it'd just be a, I don't know, cool little thing.
I agree.
So let us know down below if you like that idea.
And if you have any recommendations on albums to start off with, let us know.
Yeah, well, we could also do that too. We could, you know, hopefully, I mean, a lot of the times when I post on the Instagram story to ask questions, nobody really wants to ask questions. And even when they do ask questions, they're not necessarily questions that we can answer on the podcast, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
yes, ladies, we're
you know,
taking.
maybe we'll try that and we'll get better answers rather than just like drop a Q&A. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. Good album to listen to. Oh, we should be like, what's your favorite album for us to listen? I don't know, whatever. We'll figure it out. You'll see it though.
Yeah, or even like if it's new, like, you know, you just had that Future album that just came out. You know, we could rate and review that.
We don't trust you.
Yeah, I think real quick we should hit on. I mean, have you listened to the album at all, or?
I listened to most of it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I listened to most of it too. I think I listened to all of it just kind of like sporadically. But I think it's a great album. I think it's a lot of fun. I think Metro and Future are always a hit together. You know, I don't like that they were dissing my homie Drake. You know, Drake's my favorite artist of all time. So like, obviously, I'm always gonna pick his side over things. But you know, it's just weird. It was just. Now it's so crazy to see like how everything's unfolding. People are like going back to some of Drake's songs from Her Loss or For All the Dogs and kind of like connecting dots to where, you know, he might have been sending subliminals to Future when people didn't think it was about him at that time. So that's the really interesting thing that I think about Drake's music is that a lot of the times he's responding to things before they even come out. People just don't connect the dots until things come to fruition. And even in one of Drake's songs, he says the lyrics begin to reveal themselves over time, which is like, I mean, listen, say what you want about Drake. The dude has bars. He's got lyrics. He really is like, I feel like a lot of the times he is a step ahead. I'm not saying he's the best rapper, but I do think he is a great artist, and I think he has a great IQ in the game, and I think he really understands and knows what he's doing. So, yeah, it's just like... But I love both of them as artists. I mean, I love Future's catalog as well. I love them together, so it sucks that they're, like, beefing. I don't know. You never know if it's for sales nowadays either, too, right? It's like this, you know, obviously... Drake and J. Cole's song just got all this, like, the first-person shooter. It got, like, 15% increase since the Kendrick Lamar diss came out. So, like, at the end of the day, it's all good press, whether you're getting dissed or not. So, like, you never know. But I'm like, I'd rather see them making music together than, like, dissing each other. But it is all fun at the end of the day, so.
Yeah, I like the album. There were a couple songs that I was like, I don't know. I thought Metro could have done a little bit better, but I think it was because I was it might have been too that I was focusing so much on the lyricism to see if I could pick anything out and see where it correlated. So
yeah.
I don't know if I listened to it, like giving it that good of a shot melodically, but dude, the beef's kind of crazy. That Kendrick Lamar diss went hard, like.
Yeah, I mean it's hard. I think it's a very just like poking the bear type of diss, you know. I think it's like it's a good diss. It goes well with the song. It was unexpected. Like when I heard it, I was like, I was like, hold on, because I first heard Kendrick's voice. I was like, oh, Kendrick's doing a feature. This is like rare. Like this doesn't happen a lot. And then I started to like hear, and I was like, oh, I see where this is going here.
But the one thing that I think that was crazy about this is that they're all like him, J. Cole, Future, Drake, like all of them. I don't know if it's just because of their culture, so it's a little more dangerous when you're like actually name calling. But they're always subliminal. They're always like beating around the bush and like hinting at it without saying it. But this was the first time that at least I've noticed that it was a very like this was like a call out. Like he literally said,
definitely.
if you're the first person shooter, like it's not like that doesn't mean anything else but first person shooter mode song.
Yeah,
like he's like directly
definitely.
pointing at them. And then using their lyrics, like, he's like, forget the big three, it's big me. Like, that was 100%. He's like, you. And they don't do that.
Yeah,
Neither one
sure,
of them.
for sure.
None of them do that. Like, they always, like, beat around the bush and make it, change something up. So, this, I don't know, I thought it escalated for the first time in a while. I feel like the beef's always been there. But I think this is the first time that I'm like, oh. I'm like, oh, so this is like real. Like y'all are like actually beefing. Like you do not care. like that.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And listen, I do think that I 100% think that Kendrick is a better rapper. Again, like I said, I'm a Drake stan, so like I'm gonna go with Drake either way. But I do think that it could be cool, and I like. Don't get me wrong. I think Drake can go bar for bar with Kendrick. I do think, like I said, Kendrick does have more substance to his music, and it's just such an interesting thing because I'm like, I feel like Drake definitely makes more relatable substance music, like relationships, hardships of like dealing with fame, and like the come up in his earlier work. Whereas like a lot of Kendrick's work is more so, it is very substantial and like, it is studied because like the lyrics have so much meaning behind them. But it's just a different type. And I think that's why Drake gets more play is because it's relatable to like day-to-day life and day-to-day situations.
He makes catchy music, but I don't think Drake's the best poet. Like that's at the end of the day what rap is. It's poetry. And I think Kendrick is better at poems. Like he's a better poet. Drake is more like bop, catchy, and like you said, relatable. It's a little more mainstream.
See, I agree with you to a degree, but I think that's where a lot of Drake fans get wrong and don't listen to his deeper cuts and don't understand the lyrics a lot of the time because, like you said, a lot of the times his lyrics are not... In his pop songs and his major songs, of course, they're catchy, they're relatable, they're easy to digest. But there are a lot of deeper cuts, like Middle of the Ocean and The Remorse and, earlier work, Club Paradise, or like 8 a.m. in Charlotte, where like there's so many lyrics that just fly past people's heads and like they don't ever take the time to look into them, to deep dive in them. Again, it's not the same substance value, but I do think that like people who tend to call Drake a pop star, they don't listen to his deeper cuts, his rap cuts, his R&B cuts. They tend to just listen to more of the like standout tracks from the album, which is like, it's cool. It is what it is. But I think like he doesn't get enough credit for his pen game because of that. And it sucks because I'm like, he is a really great rapper. Like he is, there's no denying that. But I do. And like, I think J. Cole, I think J. Cole can go bar for bar too, but I don't think J. Cole really cares that much unless Kendrick was to like come out and say some like really disrespectful stuff. But this seems like it would be, I don't know, I think it could be good for the sport of rap in general. I do think it needs a little bit of revival anyways. And so it could be cool to see what happens from here, but I don't know where it goes. Like, will Drake and J. Cole drop a diss together individually? I don't know. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, the thing is that Drake and Kendrick have been like low-key subliminally dissing each other for like a decade.
Yeah.
Bro, it's been a while. So I'm like, I don't think Drake would try to go up. Like Drake, obviously, like I said, he's a very smart like musician and just business person. Like one, I think he knows that like no matter what, like you're not going to take away his fan base. It's just not going to happen. they're just too loyal to him. But also, I'm like, he has to know that, like, he has to know something, I feel like there has to be something there, because if not, why would you be dissing him? Because here's the thing. Drake's life is so much more public than Kendrick's. There's so many more things you can go after because of, like, the ghostwriter allegations back in the day. Though, one, they were, like, proven to, like, not be true. And two, every single writer in the history or every single musician has people helping them out. It's just, like, that is the music industry. Like, if you're in the studio with somebody and you guys are just, like, talking, you'd be like, oh, I could use that in a bar. You know what I mean? Did they help you? No, but you're using, you know what I mean? So it's like, but that's everywhere, you know, and a lot of people don't even, like, know that. But I'm like, there has to be something there for Drake to know, because if not, like, what are you going to roast about Kendrick? You know what I mean? Like, his albums are critically acclaimed. He doesn't really, like, he's not in the public light a lot. There's not much to go after with him. So I think that's also the thing with Drake that sucks, is, like, there's just so much more personal discrepancies that you can go after. And I think, like, that's essentially why Pusha T won the beef. I think Drake had a better diss track towards Pusha, if you actually listen to them. But Pusha had the bigger it factor. Like, oh, Drake has a kid. Like, he had the bigger gossip to dish out. And so it's widely considered that Drake lost. Oh, he made him be a father, you know. So there's so many things that you can go after. So I'm like, it's always riskier for Drake to enter a battle, but, like, he still does. So, like, I feel like a lot of people don't give him the respect for that either. Is like, you know, J. Cole and Kendrick, if they were to go back and forth, like, again, J. Cole stays out of the public. There's not a lot to really, like, go at him. His catalogs get received critically really well. So, like, both of them, that would be interesting. But when you have Drake in the mix, he just never gets as much credit as he should anyway. So, like, he could drop the best diss track of all time, and I guarantee you people still would be like, nah, it was mid, it was this, is that. Like, people just aren't going to give him credit. But he has to know that. You know, he's also very tapped in to the social media community as well. Like, he says it a lot in his albums, and he shows it a lot through his albums as well. So I don't know, but I'm interested to see where it goes and, like, how it plays out. We haven't had a response at the time of this recording yet. So I don't know.
All right, you remember Epic Rap Battles of History, that YouTube channel?
Did we watch it together?
They used to play it in school. It would be like Benjamin Franklin versus Abe Lincoln. And then they would, like, rap against each other, but it was about history. I want like a rap boxing match. Not an actual boxing match, but like disc for disc, track for track, bar for bar, face to face. Like, I'm just kidding. I would love to see J. Cole and Kendrick against each other, just because I think they're more of the same. Not that, like you were saying, like, it's not like Drake doesn't have words. It's not. I think they're both more.
Sure, I get what you mean. They're more comparable in what they put out, substance and, like, lyric wise.
And
sure.
I never hear people be like, and the double entendre and the scoop-de-doop or whatever poetry thing that's, like, super hard to do. I never hear people talking about Drake like that. It's more like J. Cole and Eminem and Lil Wayne, and then it's like the wordplay and stuff like that. But I would love to see Drake and I keep getting people be texting me all the time.
Drake and NBA YoungBoy.
No, Drake and Future go at it because although less public eye, but they were friends, bro. I feel like they got dirt on each other. I feel like they both
and
got
that sucks
dirt on
because
each other.
they're one of my favorite hip hop duos ever. So, like, though I would love to see that, and I'll be real, I think Drake would wash him wordplay wise because Future, like, though he's great and he's got the trap game on lock and he influenced it so much, I think Drake is a better lyricist 100%.
I agree,
but I think I think it would be a really cool. That would be like a good, like, 2v2, you know. Yeah. But also that's what I'm saying. I think we should start off our album review with a Drake album because I would like to show you a lot more of, like, his wordplay and, like, dive deeper because he puts, there's so many I don't know how you say it, but
entendres,
and there's so much. His lyricism is beautiful, bro. If you actually, like, look at it and delve, I think a lot of people just get so caught up because, like, he's really good about making.
He's fluid,
like, hard. Yeah, like his music just comes out like catchy AF. And so like even if it's a deep cut, like it's a song you can vibe to, bro. You know what I mean? But like a lot of the times people are more so caught up in the vibe than the wordplay. So I'd really like to kind of like digest that with you and like see what you think after like fully listening to one and like looking at the lyrics and kind of delving into those a little bit deeper. Because I think, you would see it a little bit more. Again, I'm not saying it's the same, but, he came up under Lil Wayne, bro. Like, he obviously, like, he has, the skill. It's just it is, I guess you could say, more mainstream appeal because it's like, bro, I'll be real with you. Like, anybody's car I get into, like, if they're bumping Kendrick, it's old Kendrick. You know what I mean? Like, it's not...
True.
Anything off of Damn or anything off of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, though I'm sure those are amazing. And like I've listened to them, they are amazing albums. But I will hear Drake or Future or Young Thug in somebody's car before I will hear Kendrick. And most of the time, J. Cole. You know what I mean? It's just like, because they don't make, like, I get their albums are more like storytelling and fluid, but like they're not, like, Drake is trying to make sure that like he feeds his fans, but also like he throws those deep cuts in there too. And the deep cuts is funny because a lot of the deep cuts on his albums are like the least streamed.
Yeah.
Because they're not the catchy ones, but they're the best ones, So yeah, I think it would be cool, but yeah, we'll see where it goes, man. We'll see where it goes. I mean, competition's always good as long as it like stays in the rap, bro. You know what I mean? As long as they rap and they're not out here like trying to harm each other and start some street beef. I'm like, just let the music do the talking, man. And like, I think it'll be good, and then you can get over it, and then you can start making the duos again. It's like Drake and Meek. They were beefing at one point, and then they started making music together again. So it's like I think everything does eventually come full circle, but it is crazy how it all just blew up at once. And like even Rick Ross unfollowing Drake, Nav unfollowing Drake. Those are longtime collaborators with Drake. So it's like what's really going on behind the scenes.
I know. I wanna know. Someone tell us.
Yeah, so...
What side do you think 21's going to pick? Because 21 and Metro...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, bro. I think the whole picking a side thing has been very overdone by social media and, like, creating a story.
Correct.
Though it seems with the unfollowing and stuff that people are, quote-unquote, choosing a side, I'm like, obviously 21 is a longtime friend and collaborator of Metro Boomin. They came up together. But, like, I'm sure, him and Drake just went on tour. They did an album together. So, like, there is obviously some, brotherhood there and friendship there. So, I think...
But you could say the same about
side,
Future, and apparently that wasn't necessarily the case. Like, when you see from interviews, they were still, like, more or less beef. From the interviews I saw, it seemed like they made that album and they went on tour, but...
Who, Drake and Future?
Yeah. Apparently, there was Drake allegedly on their tour on the "Do You Want a Tour" or whatever it was called. Drake told the manager to get Future off the tour, or else the manager's losing his job. So and then Future actually was off the tour for a little bit, and then rumors started spreading about him suing Drake, I guess. And then all of a sudden he's back on tour and they finished the tour.
Yeah, I know they've definitely had their like trials and tribulations as friends as well. And so I don't know, man. Again, you never know what's going on behind the scenes. It's like you never know, if they're like, hey, let's make this album, and then like that's it. We're just two good collaborators, and this is what we need to do, and this is what we'll do, and then after that, we're not gonna. I don't know,
Yeah.
But they have done a lot of songs since then. So it's also like they even just did "Wait for You" last year, and they shot a music video
that was
together.
2 years ago.
I think it was last year. It was either last year or 2022. But I'm like, still fairly recent collaboration. And even Drake in Her Loss in one of the songs, he said in More M's, he says, if I do a verse for them, they'll take it. Shoot a video, arm around me like we aces. So like a lot of people are saying that alludes to Future because he's, in Metro Boomin obviously wasn't in music videos and he wasn't jumping around on stages with Drake. He's the producer. So like a lot of people thought it was towards Metro, but Metro actually produced that song, which is crazy because he produced a song that Drake is like sending shots at Future before anybody knew.
But yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if
he's
he
ahead of
knew. And The thing is that Drake did send a feature to Metro, and Metro still released the album without the feature. The feature got leaked afterward. So it couldn't
for
be
the
about
trends, for the
Metro regardless, because Metro technically never took the Drake feature. And like the whole like, oh, the boy claimed OVO, but we traded him. Everyone thought it was about the Weeknd, but the Weeknd never claimed OVO. He actually was the only one that was like, nah, I don't want this. I'm gonna be bigger than you on my own. And Future's the one that actually claimed OVO, but I guess he's not. Yeah, it's like it's this whole thing, man. And I think someone brought up a good point. They were like, what's it called? I just lost my train of thought. I hate when that happens. But they were like, it sucks that if you look on, because you know how Spotify and Apple Music like rate like your top 5, top 10 songs.
Yeah.
Most of Future's top 10 tops are the ones with the Drake features, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But it's just because, you know,
that's the Drake effect, bro.
it's like the song with Mac Miller where he's like, I made it and I did it all without a Drake feature. Like he's like, I'm not dissing. He's like, I'm not dissing Drake. He's awesome. But he's like, but that is an accomplishment, making it without a Drake feature, because you're guaranteed to make it. At least that song will make it if there's a Drake feature. Like think about all the features, and I'm like, I don't know any other song by that artist besides the one with the Drake song, the Drake feature in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should probably wrap it up though.
Yeah. I gotta pee.
My back hurts because I've been sitting sideways.
Duty calls.
We getting old. Go ahead.
But yeah, we appreciate you tuning in this week. Let us know. I mean, we're probably gonna do the album thing anyways, but if you want to leave any suggestions of one you'd like us to see, it doesn't have to be rap or hip hop. I mean, you know,
I do want to expand
we'll
my music taste and knowledge.
Yeah,
so.
and obviously, like, we'll pick and choose and ease our way into it. But yeah, if you have any suggestions, drop them below. But we appreciate you tuning in this week. Make sure to follow us on those socials. And yeah, I mean, we have links everywhere in our Instagram bio, TikTok bio,
YouTube bio.
If you haven't followed us on all those platforms, please do, so that you can catch all of our content. And yeah, remember to
click that GoFundMe.
Trials and Tribulations. Yeah. Or whatever. Again, like I said, hit us up on Zelle, Cash App. Not Cash App, actually. I got scammed on Cash App a couple times. We don't use that anymore. But yeah. Anyways, if not, we still appreciate you tuning in. The listens mean a lot, so we appreciate that. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.